everyone, welcome to this afternoon's river cam session all the way here from the Mara River. And that horrible scene that you're having a look at over there is a bunch of crocodiles that have got a wildebeest that they were busy dismembering. Now, where they got this wildebeest, I have no idea. I've been watching this river cam the whole afternoon, and unless a wildebeest came floating down, which is I think what may have happened, they definitely didn't catch it here. Quite often what happens is wildebeest will drown, they will fall victim to other crocodiles upstream, perhaps even leopard or a lion drop this carcass in the water. I'm not too sure exactly how this carcass happened, but the fact is that the crocodiles in this particular pool have managed to zone in on this carcass and are now pulling it to pieces. Now, of course, crocodiles can't chew. Have a look at that crocodile in the center of your screen. You'll notice when he opens up his mouth that there are no molars there. They also, look at this crocodile coming up with big teeth, rips it out with a sideways slash, comes out of the water, and then swallows it down. Deliberately coming out of the water so they don't fill their tummies with water itself. We may even see, look at that roll. That is the only way that crocodiles can dismember a carcass. And look at that. Rips off a piece and comes straight in. The rest of the crocodiles now coming in. Isn't this fantastic? Now, you may have noticed that there was a little banner that came across the screen there that says live from the Masai Mara, and that is exactly it. Just like Scott is with those cheetah. This is happening right now on the Mara River here in southern Kenya in the Mara Triangle. This group of crocodiles busy tearing to pieces a wildebeest. Now, look at that. Oh. Now, yesterday we had about 10,000 wildebeest, perhaps even more than that, cross the river a little bit downstream of this particular crossing. And what we saw was zero crocodile activity. What we think it is about is because the temperature, the water temperature and the temperature of the atmosphere has a huge impact on the activity of crocodiles. And below 20 degrees centigrade, crocodiles become virtually inactive. This is obviously not the same today. It's been a pretty warm day today. And you can see that these crocodiles are absolutely not inactive, gulping down massive chunks of meat, and those are some enormous reptiles. We're looking at crocodiles upwards. That one on the right-hand side there is probably upwards of 12 to 15 feet. Look at them coming all the... Ooh, excuse me. There we go. There's some birds that are looking for some scraps. That is just me being a little bit ambitious with the controls. And here's a pied kingfisher that just flew into the view. Now, crocodiles, generally speaking, don't really eat fresh meat. Now, this is generally speaking. In the Mara River, and especially after waiting almost an entire year for food, these crocodiles will eat fresh meat. Of course they will. But it seems to be the fact that most of these crocodiles will wait for carcasses to rot a little bit, making it easier for them to dismember and, of course, tear into pieces like you're watching them do right now. Oh. Now, oh, hi, Bacon, you've just asked if crocodiles will feed on carcasses that they didn't themselves kill. Absolutely. This carcass, in all likelihood, floated down into this pool. The crocodiles in this pool zoned in on the smell of it. It is sufficiently decayed as to be relatively soft, potentially. It is still the early season. These crocodiles have lost a little bit of weight over the last couple of months, waiting for the migration to come in, and so they will eat fresh meat. And now what they're doing is they're having a feeding frenzy, basically. But unlike you see of sharks or lions or even a hyena, I find that there's a certain balance. Just look at the power of that crocodile. Look at how enormous that guy is. That's a full-grown wildebeest, and that crocodile made the front quarters. Look at the head on that guy. That is amazing. There are a couple of giant crocodiles there. Look at how long that crocodile is. Just how he dwarfs the actual branch. One of the biggest crocodiles in this pool. Quite easy, could pull down a 400-pound wildebeest on his own. Obviously a little bit hungry right now. I've seen a pecking order to these feeding frenzies. The biggest crocodiles get the most food. Other crocodiles, smaller crocodiles and females, hang around on the periphery and snatch what they can. And there is no evidence of baby crocodiles in these pools. You're only seeing big crocodiles like that giant over there. You're not seeing small crocodiles. I've got a funny feeling it's because small crocodiles will be preyed on by these big guys. And the smaller crocodiles have to make space and basically go and live in other places. Here he comes in over the top. Let's see what he's going to go and do. Asserting his dominance over here, puffing out his throat. This is amazing. Now, what makes me think this carcass came down the river is just look where it is. It's caught up on some branches in this eddy, a backwater, and there you can see the horns of the wildebeest. Wow, what an interesting sighting. Now, I don't notice this frenzy. This is a bit of a frenzy. I don't notice this on a fresh kill. Look at that mouth open. Isn't that the most terrifying thing? Big crocodile, getting out of the way of another big crocodile. Obviously, that one more dominant, bigger, stronger. Who knows? That bird on the left-hand side, a yellow-billed stork. Oh, whoa, whoa. What's happening over here? These crocodiles having a bit of a fight with one another. That is a big crocodile. Have a look at that. Posturing. Quite often that is the case with these crocodiles. Now, Dennis, you wanted to know how many animals hunt crocodiles. It's a good question, Dennis. I suppose it's the same question as how many animals hunt polar bears, or how many animals hunt lion, or how many animals hunt great white shark, or orca. Not very many. And that is simply because a crocodile is an apex predator. In this environment, he is or she is, they are the top of the food chain. And only scavengers and parasites and disease and viruses, I suppose, are they susceptible to them. And so nothing would hunt a crocodile in its full-grown form. Obviously, as a baby, just similar to sharks and lion and hyena and everything else, they will be preyed upon by almost anything, and anything will take the advantage of killing a baby crocodile just to limit the threat that they pose when they're a little bit older. But nothing in their big form, like this big guy here in the foreground, nothing except other crocodiles, starvation, drought, exposure to extreme temperatures, or both hot and cold, disease, or serious injury, from whatever would actually kill this crocodile. We can relate to that to a degree. Oh, look at the size of these guys. Now, this yellow-billed stork that you're seeing over here in the foreground. Now, Taryn, you've asked an interesting question. But first, I'm just going to talk about these birds. These birds are coming downstream of where the kill is, simply because the smell is attracting fish. Both birds, the grey heron in the back and the yellow-billed stork in the front, are fishing. They're taking a little bit of a chance. They're out now, looking to catch a fish that is attracted by the feeding of the crocodiles and all the detritus that is coming off of them. Now, Taryn, you wanted to know who would win, a crocodile or an alligator. That is a very, very good question there, Taryn. I don't have much knowledge on alligators. I know they've got a stronger bite per kilogram than a crocodile. I know they are virtually identical in all else, with the exception that the Nile crocodile can get a little bit bigger in terms of weight, as far as I know, although you're welcome to correct me on that, Taryn. But of course, what we're not talking about is the saltwater crocodile of Australia. And Indonesia, that is the heaviest crocodile and the largest crocodile in the world. And because of that, I'm going to make the statement here that in general, crocodiles, without being too specific about what exact species, would trump alligators in a fight simply because they are bigger and heavier. So I hope that makes some sense to you there, Taryn. Now, Tula Ann, who's only 5 years old, hello Tula Ann, you wanted to know, do crocodiles bite each other? Tula Ann, absolutely, they do bite one another. They slash at one another with their teeth. And quite often you see crocodiles with bite marks on their snouts and on their heads and on their flanks from other crocodiles. And they do that just to assert dominance. If you've been watching this for a little bit, you would have noticed that a very big crocodile just now opened up his mouth and made a slashing attempt at another very big crocodile. And that is just to assert dominance. There will be a hierarchy, and what that means is there will be a boss of this particular pond, and this boss will have the first pickings of all the choice morsels that come down here. But he needs to make sure that everybody else understands that he's the boss. And if he doesn't do that, another big crocodile will take that throne from him. So it's a precarious position. It's a position that changes from time to time, depending on what crocodile's the biggest, what crocodile's the fittest, what crocodile's the strongest or the cleverest. Oh, this is just such a fantastic sighting. Now, Ruby, you're a new viewer. Welcome, Ruby. Welcome to Safari Live. I'm sure everyone will welcome you throughout the afternoon. You wanted to know if the crocodiles got too close to these birds, would they consider eating them, or would they be able to eat them? Absolutely, Ruby. Crocodiles are opportunistic. They are carnivorous to a fault. Have a look at this crocodile coming in here. They will absolutely eat birds. Now, it's funny that a crocodile about 1/2 meter in length, so about 1.5 feet to about 3 feet in length, will eat birds, fish, and insects as the majority of its diet. As it gets bigger, look at this, coming in. He's going to make a snap at it. Oh no, that bird has seen a crocodile before. Almost, Ruby, you almost got your wish over here. That crocodile's probably just over 3 or 4 feet. Now, they will eat insects below 3 feet, majority insects and fish, then from 3 feet to about the size of these crocodiles here, mainly just fish. And then when they get to these giant old crocodiles that you're watching in the distance over there, these crocodiles are absolutely just meat eaters, which gives them the largest intake of calories and protein for the least amount of effort. Now, are we watching what happens to the rest of this wildebeest buffet? We're going to be sending you over to, I think, Brent. I'm not too sure. Perhaps Brent has finally found some signal. And we're going to see you in a little bit.